Have you ever thought that in this very moment, you or one of your loved ones is suffering from harassment or grooming and you're giving a
Wait, wait, wait a minute. Just turn down the notch a bit. How can you be so certain that someone I know is getting groomed?
Yeah, well, that's a thing about many type of harassment. Some of these cases can be way too obvious, while others can be never be certain perceived. They can be so invisible even the very person who's in that situation doesn't know they're getting taken advantage of.
minors and teenagers like us are an easy target and so damn easy to take advantage of when the things you say are sugarcoated. But is it ever nice? No. Sometimes you only realize until it's too late and the predator at hand has gotten what they want from you. In some other cases, you don't get taken seriously when saying the bad things you've experienced.
We like to talk about that because who be better at saying it than us, the teenagers in question.
It's so much better to tackle it beforehand and assume someone is just acting weird, even if there's no harmful intentions, than to end up with your hands full if it does end up being a case of grooming or harassment.
Predatory activity comes in all shapes and sizes. It can manifest anywhere with anyone, whether it be strangers, close friends, family members, or teachers. It's even easier done online, where you can post a fake identity. Most times, it doesn't care for gender, race, social status, or sexual preference. And talk age difference can be very well be a big factor. Sometimes teens can even groom themselves. Picture a 17 years old high school junior talking to a 12 years old girl who only starting 7th grade.
This happens because predators, as well as other exploiters, use various tactics such as grooming, for example, which relies so much on building a relationship and gaining trust over a period of time. It pivots on playing with a young person's emotions and taking the role of someone you aren't. Someone friendly, someone appealing, someone who will help you when you are vulnerable. Grooming, if you think about it, is just a big poker face competition.
As teenagers, we're at the ripest age to socialize and get our friend circle really big. And unless you live in Narnia, new people aren't that hard to come by. Simply taking a walk to the park can lead you to find a guy sweating his brains off with exercise, a lady walking her 11-year-old Maltipoo, or the neighbor's kid playing soccer and unironically missing every shot. If your parents have signed you up for any extracurricular activities, such as a sport or a music class, if you go to a youth group on Fridays or Sundays, and as shocking as it may sound, teenage romance is basically routinary, which opens another gateway to different types of manipulation. Every individual mind is a universe linked by their own thoughts and their own problems that leave us vulnerable, looking for ways to escape from the bad things we experience day by day.
Even if you don't go out much, what's that one place where you're forced to go as a teenager all the way through your 20s? That's right, school.
Today we speak to you, not only as someone who investigates these issues, but as someone who believes that the school and social media should be safe spaces, not an easy way from predators to take advantage of their authority in others to harass the people they're supposed to guide and protect.
At school, we can experience all kinds of harassment: physical, verbal, psychological, online, etc. And any classmate or employee can and could send you a text anonymously and harass you in an obviously disgusting way. Just like that. Or, even worse and most common, we can also experience physical harassment alike, involving unwanted and or inappropriate physical contact, direct intimidation. It can also include pushing, blows, or any type of repeated physical aggression.
Imagine being 15 years old, a teen just existing and breathing, and doing whatever teenagers do. You trust your teacher, and you admire them. You have a close bond to them so much so that they make you feel special. And then they use that trust to cross a line that should never be crossed. Sadly, cases like this aren't rare or isolated. They are reality that is lived in thousands of educational centers around the world.
Back in seventh grade, me and my friends were a bit of troublemakers. When we didn't agree with something, we made that clear and wouldn't stop complaining about it. Something that school workers thought was enjoying teenager behavior, but we preferred to see it as us having a strong sense of justice. Once, when we wanted to talk to the principal about one of those things that we weren't okay with, we asked our teacher for permission to go. She told us to finish our work first, and after finish it, we asked for permission again, and then she allowed us to go. Right as we were going downstairs, one school prefect told us to go back to our classrooms, even though we told him that we had permission from our teacher to go. But still, he kept insisting that we went back to the classroom, so we went back. While we were trying to go inside, the prefect passed me, touching me uncomfortably, and then he put his hands in one of my friend's intimate area and touched her. After some arguing, we were forced back into the classroom without being able to process what happened. In the days later, we tried to talk with the principal about it, but she just kept ignoring us, and that made us realize that the people that were supposed to protect us were rather be in charge, hide the truth, and make us vulnerable than actually making sure that we're safe.
This type of behavior doesn't just happen in North America or regions where there isn't much security. It's a global phenomenon. In September 2023, a literature professor at the University of Barcelona, also known as UB, was suspended after a student reported him for sexual abuse and coercion. She alleged unwanted physical contact and pressure to engage in sexual acts on 3 occasions. The complaint was filed with both the university's equality unit and the police. Although the Barcelona Provincial Court dismissed the criminal case in March 2024, ruling the relationship was consensual and no crime had occurred, the university continued its internal investigation. After gathering 15 testimonies, UB concluded the professor abused his position of power to obtain sexual favors.
In May 2025, UV officially sanctioned the professor with an 18-month suspension without pay, which considered already severe due to his prior suspension starting in 2023. The case sparked student protests demanding stronger action against sexual harassment. In response, UB amended its Code of Ethics in early 2024 to classify romantic or sexual relationships between professors and students as professional misconduct, citing the inherent power imbalance. Not all abuse in a school is physical. Many begin with constant flattery with private messages outside of school hours, with small secrets that should not exist between an adult and a student. They disguise themselves as trustworthy, but what they're really building is an emotional trap. Emotional predators don't jump at once, they manipulate, seduce, and earn their victims' obedience.
First, they make you feel special. Oh, you're so more mature than the others. You're the only one that understands me, they'll say. Then they cross boundaries disguised as affection, a touch, a long hug, a conditioned favor. And when they achieve their goal, they use fear and guilt to silence you.
This type of behavior can actually be backed by a recent study published in the peer reviewed academic journal Child Abuse and Neglect, which examined the prevalence of sexual grooming behaviors among adult survivors of childhood sexual abuse. Conducted in 2024 by Winters and Jiglick, which are both researchers in the field of psychology and criminology, the research involved 1,045 participants who completed an anonymous online survey using the sexual grooming scale, victim version, developed also by Winters and Jiglick in 2022. Research indicates that such behaviors are more frequently reported by adult CSA survivors than non survivors. The most commonly reported behaviors include the following: 68% of participants in the survey reported that the perpetrator selected children perceived as compliant or trusting or with low self esteem. 57% of participants reported the perpetrator arranging one on one activities with them. 70% of the participants said that the predator was presented as nice, charming, or likable. 56% of the participants said the perpetrator was showing excessive attention or affection to them. And 51% of the participants said that the perpetrator used seemingly innocent touch to convince them.
The jawbreaker here is that so many have done it before that even after getting caught, they do it again and again and again. When a victim dares to speak, they often do not find support but doubts. Are you sure? They will never do that. It's just a misunderstanding. That's what people say. School usually protects their image before their students. They hide, minimalize, or relocate the aggressor, and so the cycle is repeated because institutional silence is also a form of violence.
The consequences for the victims are serious and they include developing psychological problems such as anxiety, trust issues, etc. There are many solutions, but they're required in a certain way for a lot of courage, such as talking about the subject without the fear of being reprimanded, while teaching our friends, colleagues, and family that setting limits is totally healthy. A somewhat controversial solution is to require schools to take real and effective measures, since many times schools let it be overlooked to avoid legal problems or knew the harms their institutions more.
So, even though sometimes grooming is pictured as something you would easily notice, with perpetrators in black hoodies and masks, it's not always like this. The situation is very unfortunate for schools, students, worried parents all around the world.
Can you imagine it now? One of your loved ones, maybe your sister or your brother, your son or your daughter, getting groomed, suffering from harassment?
The key takeaway from this is not be ashamed or afraid of talking about something as serious as this. There are so many people trying to take us down, but an equal amount of people that are willing to help us out when things get tough.
Let's not be afraid to look this problem in the eye, because silence is also an accomplice, and strive for a better society and understanding of other people's humanity.